everybody! Today I wanted to talk to you guys about how I got started making and crocheting some of the things that I have crocheted and where I have come from to where I am now in the crocheting garments journey. So I started thinking about this because I saw a lot of comments, mostly on Reddit, and a lot of posts on Reddit where people were talking about how intimidating it is to make their own garments and crochet their garments. They don't know where to start. And I saw a few that were saying that they are plus sized and are not sure where to start, which garments are plus size friendly, how to make plus size friendly garments. I wanted to talk about how I got to being able to make that yellow dress particularly. It's the last thing I made, and kind of my journey to where we are. So here we go. First thing that I made was a cocoon cardigan. So I wasn't even thinking of making one. I didn't even know what it was. And so I think in an earlier video I might have talked about how I got started making a V-stitch blanket. Well, after the V-stitch blanket, YouTube showed me some suggestions of cocoon cardigans, and I was like, oh, what is this? So I tried it out on that blanket, and unfortunately I don't have a great picture of it, and I have since taken it apart because I wanted an actual blanket. So I learned that not all garments have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be intimidating, and there are ways to make garments that are beginner friendly. So this was not even 2 or 3 weeks into me crocheting. So cocoon cardigans is where it all started. From there, YouTube, I forget if I found a shirt on YouTube or it was suggested to me or I was just scrolling, I forget. But I found this video by Flux talking about and showing a tutorial on how to make a shirt out of just 2 squares, corner to corner squares. So this is the result of that. So just kind of 2 squares seamed up at the shoulder and along the sides. So that was really exciting when I made it, and then when I tried it on and it actually fit. So that kind of got me thinking and really got me encouraged to start making more things. All right, next thing I made, I found a tutorial from Knitcroaddict, and it was a dress and it looked complicated. But what I did was I looked at a lot of tutorials, and especially tutorials that had a blog or a pattern, written pattern connected to it. But because at that point I still wasn't reading written patterns. So this is how I started learning how to read patterns also. But the tutorial picture was a really cute dress, and it had buttons in the front, and I'll put a link in the description. But long story short, I didn't end up doing the buttons, but I did use the tutorial and I did use the general pattern and things like that. So this is the dress, the other way, that came along with it. So it's shell stitch on the top and double crochets on the bottom. So this dress taught me how to do strapping. It taught me how to do a skirt with increases, and taught me how to do just a really basic dress construction. So this was a great learning tool and a great learning garment. After that, which one did I do after that? Oh, I think I did another dress. I came along another video. Her YouTube channel name escapes me right now, but I will link it in the description. But she was showing herself crocheting this dress. I decided to try it out, and so this was the result of it right here. So similarly, she had a different way of increasing for the skirt, so I learned a little bit something different. I did do straps similar to how I did the first dress, and I didn't do any increases or decreases in the bodice. But it really was a fun project, and I actually wore this for engagement photos. After I finished it just in time for that. Then the other thing I was working on at the same time was a shirt that was originally supposed to be a dress. So this is the first thing that I tried to do on my own without a tutorial, without a pattern. So this guy right here, I got the idea just because I came across a shirt where it was constructed with two rectangular panels, and I really loved the simplicity of that. So I thought, well, I can do that and then attach the skirt portion to it. I didn't buy enough yarn. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't buy enough yarn. I didn't want to buy more yarn, so I turned into ruffles. So this is the shirt that came out of it. It is with granny stripes and then a little band and ruffles on the bottom. So I'm actually making another one of these because I loved it so much, and I wanted a different color, and actually and I'm actually doing this one in a DK weight with a very large loose stitch. This one is a sport weight, and you can see it's a little bit more of a tighter stitch, but all the same, really cute. So I am making another one of these guys. Hopefully we'll have a tutorial for her later. Then my next two projects I kind of started at the same time was the yellow dress that some of you guys might have seen before if you follow me on Instagram or if you saw it on Reddit. And then this shirt, there we go. And then the shirt, which was from a pattern, I will link it down below. So it has a really cute hood, and this is where I learned how to do a hood, and it's a short sleeve shirt is what I made it into. So what I learned with this guy is wet blocking wool makes it stretch a lot. Especially this is super wash merino wool. I don't know if that made a difference. Not too sure. Let me know. But I absolutely love this shirt. It is really cute. You've probably seen me wear it in a couple of reels or videos. And then at the same time I was making this yellow dress. So I wanted to try to make a tank top. I was following a couple of tutorials and learning how to make the straps of the tank top, and then I had an idea, like, what if I did a one shoulder top or dress? So I figured out how to make the one shoulder. Took me a couple tries, and actually if you look closely on this guy, it actually was a little too low and too long, so I overlapped at the strapping. And So learning how to do the increases and decreases for the strapping for the tank top, and then the other side was just doing a straight across. And then at that point I also thought back to my other two dresses and was thinking, you know what, it would be nice if it came in at my waist a little bit. So I did a couple of I believe 3 or 4 rows of decreases at my waist, and then from there I wanted a flared out skirt. And then about a few rows into the skirt portion, I was thinking, oh man, I'm going to run out of yarn, number one. Number two, it's getting really heavy. I wanted it a little bit more airy, a little bit more movement. So I gradually increased my my hook size, and that's how I got it to be so flowy and airy. I'm going to be making another one of these guys, most likely in red. And mostly because I want another one. I want to try a different design, different way to do the one shoulder top portion. Since this one, it looks great for a little bit, but I wore it out to a fiber fiesta and it just kept slipping. So I want to correct that. And also I got some interest in people wanting for a tutorial for this guy. So I decided, let's go ahead and try to do a tutorial for this guy. And so I am going to be working on that in the coming months. These are all the garments I've made so far. With each one of them, I learned a little bit of something, a new technique, a new way to design something, a new way to construct something, a new stitch, a new way to seam something, or a new way that a ruffle or a flare works. So really, to get started with making garments, you just have to try something out. Look for a pattern, look for a tutorial. I used keywords easy skirt, easy dress, easy shirt, things like that. Find something that speaks to you and just give it a go and try to learn something from it. It's a new skill and it's going to be hard. They weren't easy. There was a lot of frogging. So give it a shot. You never know what's going to happen. You may end up falling in love with creating your own garments. So bye bye for now. I'll see you guys later.